Oh, oh, hello, my sweet. So won't you come with me? There's oh so much to show in this grim dark distillery. So if you like bullshit or want some hobby tips, this nightmare priest nigh unbinary hell ruled magnificent welcomes you. Hello, my sweets. Oh boy. So back on our grind, like always, huh? I was in the middle of scraping this off, but then I hit my hand. Mowgli! Hello, my sweet. Good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. We were going to be painting on this bad boy this morning, but after I put the base coat on, I'm realizing there's a lot of things I need to touch up before we do that. So, we're back at it again. Not well, but trudging through. I am sorry to hear that. I get it. I don't know what ails you, whether it is a physical malady, mental, but I get it. How are you? I'm okay. I'm okay. I think I'm doing good. I'm working on this, and then I'm working on grief later. Blah. Possum. Hello, my sweet. Good to see you. Good to have you. Welcome. Yeah, I'm okay. I was working on grief yesterday, and it's coming along. I think like maybe, if not today, this weekend. If I work on it, I should be able to finish it, which is good. It feels good. It's just hard to get through. And July is like the month that like is the hardest to do it, but it's like also it's just like, yep, I kind of knew that would be the month that it would line up on, that I would finish it in. Just due to how things kind of typically work. But it's good. That's going okay. I've been wanting to do a whole bunch of different things, but I am really, really doing my best. The numbers are in loser 1, 125, loser 2, 110, possum, 233. Numbers are in. Oh, hell yeah. Rectum. Rectum, possum. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Spite, babies. That's how we do things. Oh, yeah. It is a cult. It's a cult 9-card spite. Rectum. Rectum. Hardly knew him. Didn't matter, though. Bam. Oh, no. But yeah, I'm doing okay. I guess I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm like mentally healthier than I've been in a long time, but like that's because I'm just like making myself do shit that I don't fucking want to do mentally. But it's been good. And I'm excited about making things. There are so many things. Like after cleaning a bunch of my stuff up, and I've yet to do any of the things that I said I was going to do, but I've got, another brain set of hands now to help me on certain days. So we should be getting close to that. It's just if I could ever just quit switching from one extreme to the other, but hey, ain't that life. But no, I'm feeling really, really good about my projects and what I'm wanting to do, and about my commissions that I'm working on right now. I'm really excited to do all the things that I have because they all do scratch like a different little itch for me. And then there's still a bunch of things on the back burner that like I'm like, man, I want to do that. So it's like giving me a reason to kind of get shit done, and that's good. It's good to have things that we're wanting to work on to move us forward. Small goals and short-term and long-term goals are always great to have. If you only have short terms, life gets pretty frustrating. But having a couple long terms is definitely something that I have to do, where I kind of go crazy until I figure some out. Which I know that seems very odd, but it's just like if I don't know what the fuck I'm working towards with like a definite goal, it's hard for me to lie to myself more than anyone, unless I am also playing the game, and it's just not mentally healthy for me to do that. Anywho, Wrecked him. Hardly knew him. Beep, boop, badoop. That was a good little crack. Little break sound. We are going to be filling in some of these little... I will show you one of them. One of them that has earned my ire, and it deeply frustrates me. Ooh, I can see it. I can see it right there. I know you can't too, my sweets. Right here. You see that? That hole? I hate that. I don't like it at all. You can see my little fingies on the other side. That's the problem. We don't want that. That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, that's something we're gonna fix. And then it's also like while we're moving parts, I definitely do not need to break the whole thing down like these, but the back walls definitely, in order to paint it, I do need to be able to get to certain angles. But right now I'm just going through and for the most part picking up. I do have the right mic on, yeah. Okay, cool. Fucking. I'm going through and getting hairs, small super glue strings, anything that is very noticeable to my eye as, hey, you're either gonna have to hide that under shit, and if you don't want to like further bulk that up, it needs to be removed because it's very noticeable as what that is, to my brain at least. And that's the thing, like I know sure a lot of people won't know. I do, and I'm gonna think about it every single time I look at it. And again, I'm making one board finally, and I'm getting the damn thing done, which I'm pretty pumped about the lander. I've been thinking, hey, what am I gonna do with that lander? Oh yeah, it's a lander that has crashed into whatever the fuck this is. So either smashed through a hanger, you know, or it's down in a hive, wherever. There's just going to be a smashed lander, kind of built around or used as scrap in some part of this massive thing. Yep. It's what I do, babies. I'm a yapper. I'm also becoming a bit of a napper now, and I used to not be. But I'm really starting to really like a good little nappy. Who am I? What am I doing? Can't even tell who I am anymore. Taking naps. Is this... So, I do not want to put the third layer on there yet. I'm going to probably remove that one. Because that's another thing, is like a crazy person, I built part of this using just the connectors. I can't nap. I have FOMO. So I used to have fear of missing out on what I'm doing with my time. And I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm like, man, fuck time. It doesn't even exist. I'm ready. I don't know if it's that I'm fighting that point now, but I don't think it is, because I'm typically even more upset about losing time when I'm in that kind of vibe. Which sounds crazy and doesn't make sense, but that's kind of how my brain rolls. No, I used to not be able to nap because my brain just could not calm down. But it's just like I have found that at a very specific point in the day, like around like 1:30 to between like 1:30 and like 2:30 is like a really good time to take a little nappy for me. But like only like an hour max, but like 45 minutes. I took a nap yesterday instead of working on models. See, that's it. That's the hard thing though, is that I think the moment that I'm starting to actually be like, hey, I gotta go to fucking work again, I think that absolutely will change and I'll never nap again. But I gotta say, I do think that it'll help my little brain, as far as creativity and stuff like that goes. But this has been just a really fun little project, and I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna remove these. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it without breaking certain parts. Certain parts need to stay, certain parts need to come off. But our weak, feeble bodies need to sleep. See, FOMO, you could have worked on models. See, exactly. That's it. Sometimes though, I'm mentally exhausted from working on models. That's I guess that's it. Like, when I say like, oh man, the moment I have to like go to work, I mean like when I go to work, not making things for people, like models, because yeah, like, and that's I guess that's the fucked up part is it's like my body, my brain constantly is making things. I constantly want to be doing this, which is why I was like, oh, I want to do that in my job, and it does make it to where I can then kind of have my like after quote unquote work, I still have time to think about other things, and that's cool. Man, it is weird being like, it's not, I don't ever want to stop making things or building things, but I've actually hit a point where like my eyes are fucked, or my hands are fucked, or my body just physically can't do it anymore. And I know that if I do the thing that I want to do, I'm only going to make problems and mistakes. So that's how I end up doing things like taking naps and like playing video games. It's like I used to wake up early in the morning and try to do, and I've been thinking about that on and off, about whether or not I want to try and go back to like a very early hobby hang or like morning hang, because I did kind of like the absolute stream of consciousness that was just like me being like barely awake and sentient. People seem to like that, and I found it helpful, but I don't know if I would find it as helpful now because I've got a lot of my demons out of my closet. It might instead just be nonsensical, silly talk until I wake up, which is what I would be afraid it would be, which is why I don't start streaming until 8 these days, because now I can be awake and do it like kind of like a gerb, kind of. But yeah, I had someone hit me up about managing marketing for me and stuff, and it's just like, it's so weird how I've hit a point that I'm like, that's exactly what I need, but also I'm utterly afraid of that because I don't know if one, you're even a fucking real person, two, it's just the whole thing is it's crazy. It's crazy like needing a marketing person, having a marketing person, not knowing how to explain what you need, and also trying to juggle the things just because I'll grab grief so you guys can see where we're at with it. It's mentally exhausting though, working on certain projects for various reasons. Grief is exhausting on a lot of levels. It is physically hard to look at because that is one of the entire goals of my demons is that I try to play with depth, I try to play with shade, on color. You know, I want it to look hard to physically look at for you. How the fuck is this stuck? It's glued? What the fuck? No. Yeah, you idiot. Okay, well. What the fuck? So here we're where we are with grief. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, you're gonna get trafficked, you said. OF. Oh man. Hold on, did I say OnlyFans? But I could have procrastinated working on models by working on other models, but instead I slept. Yeah, exactly. Whoop. Almost dropped that. Oh my god, you're gonna get trafficked, you said OnlyFans and management companies came out. Long time no see. Hi. Oh, grief. Yeah. No, grief. We're getting there. A couple more sessions like today and tomorrow, and I think probably be good. But yesterday I started doing the metallics. The bands. Let me move this. I actually put grief down. Grief is on a screw now, so it's like kind of hard to balance. And that's so I can put it in a vise because grief is quite difficult to manage otherwise without said vise. But it's hard to get. Yeah, right there. I think that's in focus now. So yeah, I started doing the metallics yesterday. You said, oh, oh, fuck, you're right. Oh, fuck, I was wrong. It can get funnier. Fuck. Holy fuck. You're right, Possum. Holy shit, I mentioned foot stuff. Oh, that's what got them to come out. That's so fucking funny. Holy shit. That is so funny. Okay, yeah. Which, speaking of, I'll show you my little Pete's now. Joke's on you guys. Because these little babies are in socks. Because I tried to. I'm working on cleaning them up, making those little piggies look very pretty. I cannot stress enough. For free. Oh yeah, no, these are in socks. That's why it's safe to show you today. I gotcha. Yeah, I literally I am physically incapable of showing you what they look like under these socks because I cannot handle you all treating me the way they treat SpongeBob in the Halloween episode when he takes off his Flying Dutchman outfit and everyone screams and runs out of the Krusty Krab and Patrick's like, it must have been your pink hat. Because this little kitty, in an attempt to fix his horrible, horrible, gross fucking feet, sanded those things down way too far. Went way too far into the meat. It doesn't. They hurt. My little piggies are sore. Not my piggies. My heels. Oof, man, you can really see into Grief's like nose hole from that angle. Or at least I could. I'm gonna have to fix that because it's supposed to be a void, but that was that's a very not pleasant hole. Yeah, the boop 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 boop. Goddamn, you're fucking talented. Thank you, Mowgli. No, thank you so much. For free. I'm really happy with it so far. But I got to clean up around like the teeth. Initially, I started to paint the nails gold, and I was like, nah. Same thing with the bands up here, the ringlets. The ringlets on both the bells and on clipping the jester cap horns to the bells are going to be black metal like the nails. I thought about doing the nails, and I briefly painted one of the nails, the eye nails, gold, and I was like, nah. But Grief's skull is like, let me grab. I need to finish it. And this is not Grief, so I'm working on a lot of things, but as you guys know, constantly. This is one that I worked on a while back, which is like a multi-project piece. But it originally was going to be used for the album art for one of my music projects. I guess my most current music project, King Piss. But I wanted to use this once it is finished and painted. Originally it had some horns that I sculpted, but a lot of my style and techniques changed in the year or two. I started working on this during, I think it was COVID. COVID's when I started doing King Piss. And that led to a lot of different things that now are like part of the lore and whatnot, kind of in between both musically and art-wise. Like I like to make my art all in kind of one thing. So just kind of reconnecting these if I can. That way I don't have to try to hold them all. But so this is one of the pieces like that I've been working on and off, and I'm hoping to finish it soon. This is the kind of stuff that I'm really wanting to start working on more. Actual like art piece as opposed to just models. But also I'm so zoomed in, I'm sorry. So yeah, this is supposed to be, originally it was going to be the album art for the EP for King Piss, that I started working on during COVID, but then a whole bunch of shit happened, and I started different other projects and different other things happening, and it kind of got put on the back burner. I am absolutely going to finish that at some point, but I think the overall tone and the concept has changed a lot, and been more refined. We're going to hold that right there, and this one's just going to go right here. To give you the idea, though, when I say just models, no, it wasn't just models. I just mean like grief is really the last like demon that I think I'm making. That is, I don't want it to look from here. I definitely want them to look more like art pieces as opposed to models, and by that I mean almost the base. The bases were very much, for all these demons, they were absolutely, it was thought about, like, oh, it needs to be this size in order to be functional for a game. Whereas I think the next ones that I make, I really kind of want them to be not functional game pieces. I mean, they could be if you really wanted them to, but they're much more, I guess, made for like displaying. Like finishing the one that I was going to make for Tim, but his P.O. box changed, so sad times. But yeah, so this is essentially was going to be the cover. This on a shelf. The skull's gold. The horns are like utter black, covered in keys. But this is the skull of a black king, which is essentially, we'll get into all that later, but it's essentially somebody, a priest of the child inverted, a priest of my cult. I would be a black king. I am the first black king. Put that on a fucking t-shirt and with no context and wait for it to get misinterpreted with a picture of me. But no, that is the concept of that. It was very much inspired by Lawrence, and I would be the Brown King. Jeez. Oh, Mowgli. Shit. I absolutely lost my train of thought there. I went down a complete memory path. Fuck. Black King. Gonna do some painting. What was I doing? But yeah, that's supposed to be a piece. It's gonna go on, I think, a podium. I've got a podium that I've been like debating if I want to use it for that, or if I want to use it for the Necropolis board, to have it as a big chunk of that. But I have two of them, but they're like almost nightstand planters kind of things. But yeah, there's a section of Bloodborne where you find Lawrence's skull, or if it's not Lawrence's skull, I think it's Lawrence's, but if it's not, it's a cleric beast's. And I love Bloodborne. Favorite game. The cleric beasts, though, very, very, very good lore. Oh, yeah. Yep. You're a wizard. Luckily, you put him in a mind maze. You're a wizard, native king. You did. You broke my brain. I was gonna say something funny. Hey, teddy bear. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to take him upstairs. I'll be right back. Yeah. We gotta get him out of the basement. He's just gotten so bad. He's so bad now. I'll be right back, guys. Oh my goodness, it's the Dust Bunny King. And he's covered in bits of trash from my floor. The Dust Bunny King. Hello. All right, Theodore, come on. He says, And we're back. You're a wizard, Harry. Before the company I worked for was bought out, the safety guy, his name was Harry. And man, every single time we had a class, it took everything. Not for me to just stare at him until he noticed me and then just say, "You're a wizard, Harry." I wanted to do that so bad. Never did it. Did a bunch of other weird, crazy shit. People just acted like I didn't do it. Like, I don't know what to do. Just act like you didn't do that. And that is probably how I avoided a diagnosis of a couple things for so long. Act like you didn't do it. Okay, did I fuck up? I might have fucked up a little bit. I did. Alright, that's gotta move. And we're gonna move this cup because I don't want to sling. You're a glizzard, Gary. You are the glizzard, Gary. Welcome to Muppet Town. Glizzard is short for Glizzymancer. Oh my. Oh. You're a glizzard, Gary. A Glizzymancer. Man. Okay, well here's where it gets unfortunate. So this is where like I would wish for a genie. You'd be like, I wish I was a Glizzymancer. And then they're like, are you really? And you're like, yeah. And you're like, alright, cool. So then you just only have the ability to summon dead hot dogs. Like hot dogs that have already been eaten. You don't want that. I think that would just be a poop. Unless that's what you really want, and that they just say that, because that's how you get what you want from a genie. I think he'd be like, really? Ooh, okay. On that note, right? A Glizzymancer. I really like that. So I'm gonna give this the old flip again. Bada bing, a bada boop. Boop, boop, boop. Beep. Beep. Yeah, right there. That is where that goes. Now hold on, Eli. Yep, that's what I thought, you silly little goofball. Come on. What are you doing? Do you want this to stay together? Oh, that's hot glue right on my hands. You guys watched me do it. I love it. It's the only way I feel anything now. It's covered in hot glue. Nah, that's a necro glizzymancer. Okay, sorry. Glizzymancer, yeah. Pyromancers don't control dead fire. Oh, fuck, but a necro pyromancer? That, like, undead fire? Fuck. That'd be dope as hell. Wait, would that just be smoke? Is a dead fire just smoke? And ash? Okay, well, ash mancer's pretty fucking cool. That's actually really fucking cool. Possum, we need to just set aside an hour a week, and we're gonna make a game. We're gonna workshop stuff. We're gonna make a game. And we're gonna retire. And we're gonna build the lab. And then probably a killdozer, because I feel like that's how my run ends. That's a joke. That's a joke. I'm kidding. I love a good killdozer joke, though. I just think it's just fucking funny that like it's like what did he do? He just did this thing and it just took so long. It's just that. I guess if it was a quick thing, there really are few things that I just don't think that brevity is absolutely the soul of wit. But fuck, for true like payoff, I gotta have like an insane amount of you could have turned back. It's so many points, but you didn't. And that's what I think makes things really funny. And that, you know, when you summarize the story, that's where brevity comes in. But as far as actual process, I think the longer and more insane something is that no one fucking says anything. That's funnier. In the grand scheme, this is absolutely, I'm talking about how funny are tragedies and, you know, monstrous things. But sometimes you gotta laugh about how fucked up shit is. Otherwise, you'll just go crazy. At least that's what I've done. It's worked out. Not saying it's good. Maybe for you. I'm ready to kill those in this place. Oh, okay, see. Nympho. Oh, Nympho Pyromancer? Now, is that Horny Flames? I think the crazy thing is it was needing plumbing in a building here. Oh, yeah, no, and that's I guess that's it. Like, I love hearing about people doing things hot and bothered. Nymphomancer. Oh, hot and bothered flames. Okay, so like, wait, is that just a like possum? Is a nympho pyromancer? Would that just be a Zinchian flamer? If all they do is make you hot and bothered? I mean, it'd be a very specific kind of Zinchian flamer. There's a lot of jokes to unpack in there. Not all of them are great. I'm not proud of any of them, but there's a lot of jokes to unpack in there, for sure. That's one of my favorite bits from Arrested Development is he's a flamer. So, wow, Dad, I really don't think you're really in any position to kind of like, you know, say anything. What the hell is wrong with you, Michael? He's a flamer. He burns things. We are currently watching Arrested Development again. We are just now in season 3, I think. It's their kink. A Zinch flamer that has converted to Slash. Ah, yeah, there we go. Yep, that would be it. All is change. Are not all servants of the master of change. Do not the worshippers of corn transform proud heroes into headless corpses. Yeah, no. Ash and like coals probably. Hell yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, and that, I guess that's it. Like over needing like plumbing in a building he owned. I like that. Yesterday, I was telling Kelly about this. I was like, she got home and I was just like about ready to just start punching holes in the concrete wall or attempting to, which is essentially just that's my go-to. Is like I don't want to break things other than my flesh mech. I want to destroy my flesh mech and make it to where I can't use it anymore. That's when I get frustrated. So, I was talking about how frustrated I was. That's just like, I cleaned the basement. And it's just like, there are literally like 5 fucking things in the whole fucking basement that don't have a place. And it's just like, while trying to work on a Johnny's tank, like I needed to fix something because there's these fucking gnats. Because the tape came up. And this is because of during the move. But it's just like, of course, while I'm trying to do this, I bump into one of said 5 things, and it bumps into another of said 5 things. And the next thing you know, like literally the only things left in the floor are just like falling all over each other and spilling everywhere. And it's just like, how is this even a fucking thing? And it's just like, I think it's like when you get so tired, you're so exhausted, you've been doing so much, and then it's just like, it's that final straw that breaks the camel's back, and you're just like, you know what? I'm done. It's fucking time for a killdozer. And I love that. I love when someone I love finding out what that was. What was the killdozer that broke the camel's back? Or what was the straw that built the killdozer's back? Also, I don't want to be that guy, but if like humans are like flesh mechs, that guy was kind of like an Autobot, kind of, or not an Autobot, but like some kind of robot that assembles into another robot, if you think about it, because he was like a pilot in a mech piloting a giant robot. Wasn't really a robot, though. It was, and that's the same thing when you think about cars, I guess. That's a stupid thought. Don't write that one down. You know, every time you get in a car, you're kind of like a robot in a robot. Man, he's so well spoken and so smart. Fuck. I hate this fucking super, or this hot glue shit. Gets all over my hands, gets all over the place, gets stuck to everything. It's good for gluing shit though, and you're still like locking stuff in, because it's not. The straw that forced me into a garage for a year to build a killdozer was the fucking clothing, drinks, and snacks at a Lowe's. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Also, I mean, killdozer, I guess, fever just runs in my family, because like my uncle, 100%, did still. I saw the bulldozer. I remember seeing that as a young lad, and thinking, oh fuck yeah, bulldozer. It was not theirs. Turns out. Love it. Love to hear it. I'm here for it. And that's all I want to know. I don't want to know any more, other than it's just. I like when people steal things that it's just like, how the fuck did you think you were going to get away with that? Like bulldozers or crane, like a crane. Oh man, if you steal a crane, I don't think you should get in trouble. It's like when I worked at Best Buy, and we all had to watch the video of our LP guy waving at these two ladies wheeling a cart. Like both of them were wheeling carts just full of Xboxes and shit out, and our LP guy just waving at them, and it was just insane how much they stole. And it's just like, I don't think they should be in trouble. Like, I don't think, if like no one tells you what you're doing is wrong, you just do the thing. I don't know. Who stole the tank? Hell yeah, I stole an aircraft carrier. Dude, I can't stress enough. There is absolutely something like, I'm glad that I grew up when I did, because it's like, oof, I can't imagine what it would be like growing up, having access to the internet and finding out like, hey, if you want to, the tools are out there that you could learn how to pilot like an F-16. Like you could just spend, like you could decide that's what you want to do. Like you're like, oh, hey, what are you doing? Oh, well, I got home from school today and I got on YouTube and I saw someone had built an entire rig where they just were training to steal an F-16 fighter jet, and successfully fly away in it, fucking Camille style. And I cannot stress enough, if I had known that that was a life path when I was a kid, that's why I can't have kids, because I was like, dude, you know what you should be fucking doing? You should be learning how to pilot a jet, you little shit, or fucking training a Falcon. Like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like the amount of stuff, it's just like that I learned as a kid because my brain just wanted to just yum, nom, 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 nom. I can't imagine what kind of absolute psycho I would be if I had had the actual internet that we have now, as opposed to just encyclopedias and every other like physical like bit of information that I could get my hands on. Which is something that I've thought about. Like I have a problem of like, I love owning physical books. If like the amount of books that I have like purchased that I'm like, oh, I have to have that because I love said thing, and then I have not read, not opened. There's definitely the FOMO aspect of it, but it's also I don't know, I have to be in a very certain mindset to like be like, it's book time. Because otherwise my body's just like, boop, 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 move, 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 move all the time. Can't read. Which is why I really liked audiobooks. But audiobooks are good for when you do work that you don't have to think. So the irony of stopping being an engineer, and it's like now I can't fucking listen to audiobooks because I make art. I can, do this stupid ass shit that supposedly you need to go to school and have degrees and papers and shit for, but it's just like, no, I can do that half-assed while listening to an audiobook. I think it's that. I think it's just difference between thinking and like creating and going through the fucking emotions. But that's a definitely some people can't do anything and listen to something, which is strange to me. But I absolutely rip Sky King. Okay. Like the Sky King who stole a commercial airplane and did barrel rolls before you nose bombed. Rip Sky King. That's fucking rad. Which I'm not trying to condone anything here, but Kelly told me absolutely can't read at home. It sucks. That's the thing. Like I can't either. Like I want to. I have so many. Like I have to pretty much take a book out in the backyard. But if I'm physically in the basement, I'm fucking not reading. I have to take whatever I want to read and actually get done with me to where I have access to nothing else. But I'm trying to work on that. And I'm trying to get better about turning my fucking phone off, just utterly just getting less digital. But it's hard because like I absolutely, literally, in order to like try to do this, and like I have to have some kind of present. It's so hard trying to find a medium. Fired. It's so hard trying to fired. It's find with an A. Fired. Fanned. Find. I might need to scrape that, but this is good. This is a good amount. Uh-oh. It does make me really think, do I want to go into making this a 2x2? I do like the idea of it being just straight up. It could be a self-contained thread board or a self-contained just 2x2 board for a lot of things, especially because it's going to be so many fucking layers. But I definitely want the second layer to end there. Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. Hard to say. Is that upside down? No. Maybe. Actually, yeah. I think it is. But you can't tell. This. We're going to have to fix that door. Fill that in. I want to grit that door up. Go analog, baby. You're so postmodern. Oh, I am so analog. Like music, I can't stress enough. Every time I update any of like my recording software, I love you guys. I gotta go. Judy waits. Bye, Mowgli. Love you. Take care. Thank you for hanging out. It's good to see you. Hope things are better. Hope you are doing better. But yeah, I absolutely despise how every time I get into any form of like software, the amount of like, oh hey, this feature's changed, and it's just the amount of steps, the amount of trying to digitize everything and trying to make everything that is physical all made access where you could do it all digital is beyond insanity. And I think it really overcomplicates interfaces, especially for people that know how to make art but do not know how to make, their brains don't function the same way. It's smooch smokes. It's just interesting, I think, the way different people's brains think. I'm gonna start filling in these cracks. I think that's really, I think, one of the number one things I'm gonna need to be doing right now. Filling in those cracks. We might raise this bad boy. Thinking raise it up a little bit. That way I can see better. What do I have that I could sit this on to raise it up? A box. A box, you say? Well, yes. There's no fox in this box. I have no fox in this box. There's a fox on that bottle. But alas, no fox on a box. Possum, how do you feel about that old Dr. Seuss books? That old Dr. Seuss books. Not Dr. Seuss in general. When I say any work of literature, I'm not talking about the author, because that's a hard thing for a lot of people. I don't know. I don't want to. Oh, I love those books, but so and so like to eat people. Fuck. I didn't know that. I don't like that part, obviously. I like a good cat in a hat. Read that book and I said, well, I know what I want to be when I grow up. You mean to tell me I can just be a big cat with some things in a box and people will let me in their house and my job is to just entertain them? I'm in. General Kotex. General Kotex. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah, turns out I was lied to, General. You cannot be the cat in the hat. It's not a real job. But yet, making toys for drag queens to play Dungeons and Dragons is a real job. What the fuck, life? Man. See, it's that kind of shit. But I think a lot of that's, you gotta choose your own adventures, you know? A lot of that is just, you gotta choose your own adventure. Do I need to adjust this? I probably do a little bit. There we go. Beep, beep, beep. We'll zoom in a little bit too so you guys can see a little bit better. I'm kind of yapping and ranting. Oh my goodness. There. It's hard to tell when it's in focus and when it's not. So, yeah, this was definitely a good choice though. And I was not wrong to think that I needed to break those walls down before I move on. I do have to do that, but just these two. And then we will fix this when we, of course, move up. But this layer's got to get on first. And while I'm obviously going to have to add a whole bunch more things and do more painting and touching up, this absolutely I had to prime it just so I could see what the hell was going on and wasn't fixed, just because all the different colors and the different materials definitely make it hard to see. I like to use a brush for this part as opposed to a pressurized hose, like to blow it out. I was reading something or watching, no, I think it's in a documentary. I don't remember which one it was, but I want to say it was the original Falcon. It took them, I don't remember how many days to blow out, and I can't even fucking imagine. But that's really one of my biggest goals. I don't know, I've just been thinking a lot lately. I guess I should have talked about this also when Mowgli was here, because he asked. Just like, hey, what do I want to do before I die? I'm not planning on dying anytime soon. But that's a thing that I often tell you guys like to think about. But I'm so caught up in trying to help my friends and whatnot with their stuff that I kind of forgot about doing that for myself. So a lot of my focus, I'm doing this to get my box and my materials and stuff aligned with what my goals are by removing a lot of IPs from my toolbox. That way it will be very original. Very strong smell of hot glue there for a second. But I'm really, really, really excited to work on this Wretched Inheritance. And I'm just going to show, in case you missed it. I picked this up sometime last year, but it's been a bitch to store. But this is going to be, I think, one of the biggest, probably the biggest physical, like, scale model I'm probably going to build of a single thing. And I don't even know, it's going to be wild to figure out the scale. But this is going to serve as the basis of one of the colonial ships for my IP, this Wretched Inheritance. The first like little role-playing game that I did in the Wretched like role-playing universe was set aboard said ship, so it kind of felt like a good place to start, and also just because I had all those bits for various scales, it was something I was like, man, what can I do with that? And then it just kind of just clicked in my head of, oh fuck, I want to make a display piece, that almost like museum kind of piece. One of my earliest fascinations, make your own junk head. That's what you should do. So that's kind of awesome. That's kind of like what I'm planning on doing. Is I am going to start making stuff for this Wretched Inheritance, and because I think when I initially said like, oh, I want to do this or this or that, the moment that, like, when I say stop motion animation, when people think about that, they're like, oh my god, all the cameras, all the stuff like that, and it's just like, I'm gonna make the stuff. I didn't say I was going to do all that. There's still a lot of stuff we can do with the toys once they're made. And storytelling is really what I want to do with that. But playing games and whatnot is absolutely, you know, I would have killed at any other stage in my life. I would have killed to have the like car stick domain group. That is something I'm insanely thankful for, and it's just like, man, I'm truly jealous of everyone that is younger than me that gets to be a part of that now, because that is something that literally did not exist in our state prior, and it's just fucking huge. At least I think it's huge to have a group of people that are willing and wanting to play unique stuff, to be able to reach out and like talk to them and plan and not feel alone, and like that what you want to do is so different, is just wonderful. Anywho, yep. But one of my first, like, I remember obsessing about was I want to say it was a Fangoria, but it was a Fangoria that came out when The Lost World did, and it was, I think, a special edition that the cover was holographic. It was very fucking clunky. It was a thick fucking magazine. I got it at Kroger when I was a kid, and I really need to see if my mom still has it, because I've thought about it so much. But there is a section, there is a page that I can one, I can smell this magazine. Two, I can literally see it and feel that magazine in my mind's eye, sitting in like a parking lot in a car like 4 blocks from where I am right now. But as a kid, having access to this magazine, because it was about dinosaurs. It was Fangoria though, so it's just like, it was the whole like issue was just nothing but like dinosaur sci-fi special effects, like explaining how like different films, because it was right around the time The Lost World came out, so Fangoria made this huge like dinosaur issue, but because it's Fangoria, they also had other shit in there that, like, yeah, you probably didn't expect that to pop up. Luckily, I was not too desensitized by that, but the only things that really popped up were, again, a reinforcement of aliens are my fucking jam, which that's a whole thing. When I say aliens, I mean xenomorphs. But that is when I first saw the Sulaco, which is one of my favorite ship designs. It is the ship from Aliens. It's such a interesting shape, and also, I mean, the disc jockey. I don't know. It just those designs are so unique. I just love them. They live rent free in my head forever. So every now and then I'm just like, man, that's such a fucking cool spaceship. Speaking of which, if you guys have any recommendations of an anime, of a show, of a movie, of a game that has spaceships that are fucking cool that you think I should check out, let me know. It's $20 on eBay. Wait, hold on. What were we talking about? I already lost my train of thought. I'm out. I'm sorry. I was just talking about it. I was really pumped about it. That magazine? Are we talking about that magazine, or are we talking about... If it's that magazine, I'm going to be so pumped. That's awesome. I wonder if I still have that at my mom's house. Oh, man. Hell yeah, Possum. I'm going to have to look at that. I need to check to see. I'm also very pumped that I was not wrong, that it was, in fact, Fangoria, as opposed to some other sci-fi magazine, because I would have felt like a real loser. Like, oh, man, I thought it was Fangoria. I didn't know. Meow. Man, I have something funny that I was going to tell, but I really don't think I'm supposed to tell it. So I'm going to wait. And I'm also going to go pee, because it's break time, my sweets. Man, no, that Fangoria issue, though, is sick as hell. That had such a huge impact on me as a kid. June 1997. Holy... Yeah, fuck. I just got chills, Possum. Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to reach out to my mom and see if she has that. And if not, I'm going to buy one off eBay, because I need that in my life. That is... I can't stress enough that... I don't know if there's probably another, like, piece of literature that I spent more time obsessing over. That absolutely, when I, you know, the interview I did with Goonhammer, any interview I've done with anybody about, like, my style, so much of that and what I love comes from that magazine and watching the movies that are referenced in that as a kid while trying to understand how to make dinosaurs. Because that's kind of like what the whole thing was, which is kind of one of those things where it's just like, I reached out to Pure Games when they announced Carnivore. So I was like, man, if you guys want someone to help you make dinosaurs, I would love that, because I love dinosaurs. But again, because my work tends to dive more into just nightmare fuel, I don't think realistic dinosaurs is something that people think that I would be capable of sculpting or making. But then there's also the fact that I don't like to fuck with digital sculpting, period. So there's that. I'm going to go pee, my sweets. I'll be right back. Or Fangoria number 164, Jurassic Park: The Lost World. I'm going to have to, so it's got a holographic cover. That thing is thick. Like, that is it. I remember it being, and I've never felt a fucking magazine to this day that felt like this, because it was crazy. It was like, seriously, when I say a holographic, we're not talking fucking Pokemon cards. I'm talking like old school holographic shit where, like, it was like 3 fucking images layered on top of each other using this crazy style. It was real old shit, and it had such a weird texture to it. Man, I've got to fucking find this magazine. I gotta pee first, though. I'll be right back, my sweets. Booty doo 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 doo. Also, my mouth is so dry. Oh my god.
she's made of bronze and stone. And I'm just fur and teeth and blood and bitter angry bones.
And we're back. So let me see. Man, okay. I'm gonna have to find this. That. Man, I remember the holographic. Man, they were really big into holographics. One isn't Fangoria, but says 3D holographic. So that's what I'm thinking of. So like, and that's what I'm like. I don't think maybe it's not Fangoria because none of those looked right. I think it's this one. It was called Dinosaur, maybe. Maybe. Sealed 3D holographic special. Ooh, it's this one. Vintage 1993 3D holographic dinosaur magazine with Jurassic Park history. It's $15. I'm pretty sure it's this one, but I'm gonna double check on that. There's quite a few it looks like, but let's see, 1993 dinosaur. Holographic. I'm pretty sure it's that one. One isn't Fangoria, but says 3D holographic. Yeah, I think it's this one, which is not Fangoria. But, oh, fuck. Yeah, no, it's this one. Yeah. So, absolutely. This kind of like ad was something along these kinds of lines, but for aliens. Like, yeah, fuck. That's a whole different kind of like form of like nostalgia just hitting real hard. But yeah, so it looks like that. Fuck me. Reddit eat shit. But yeah, that's it. Dinosaur, the complete 1993. Yeah, there's a couple. Ooh boy, there's a whole bunch of them there. But yeah, oh man, I love that magazine. That ad for aliens definitely had and it also, there was a bunch of Star Wars like quality prop displays, that kind of stuff. The idea of making that people like collectibles, that kind of stuff. The idea that other people like that kind of thing really had an impact on me. Again, because that was like literally the internet, not really a thing in '93. At least for a 9-year-old. Oh fuck, no, I wouldn't have been 9, I would have been 5. Fuck, yeah, well, that was early. My brain didn't do math right. I'm making myself a lot older. I was just a wee baby. That was around the same time those chocolate bars I talked about. The Lost World chocolate bars. They fucked. They were good. I'm pretty sure it's because there was a cocoa shortage. Someone told me about that recently. So like chocolate for a couple years was actually like quote unquote shittier, but man, it had an interesting taste to it that like you just really aren't going to find anymore, I don't think. And whether that's good or bad, hey, you know, who's to say? I think the lead poisoning made it easier. Made it go down easier. You know. Boop boop boop. Pretty sure I ended up with a White Dwarf at one point as a kid because I remember a magazine with Lord of the Ring models and maybe some Dark Eldar stuff. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely. The first model kit that I ever got was a very big Battle of Hoth set, and I did not fully understand model kits at the time, but I definitely liked the vibe. Understanding it was a diorama that had to be assembled. Be fun. I say, oh man, it'd be fun to make. Yeah, I don't have time for that. Like again, this goes to like, I'm like, oh man, I want to do this, I want to do that. That'd be really fun. It's just like, dude, I love the idea of all of those ideas, but it's just like, truly, if I'm like, what if I'm gonna die tomorrow? What's the last thing that I want to fucking work on? It's just like life's too short for me to not work on what I'm really passionate about. And I think that is, I've just been thinking about that a lot lately. July gets me in that kind of vibe. That sucks. There's a whole bunch of shit over in that corner. All a bunch of loose stuff. And again, I'm doing this roughly because it's going to be played on. I'm going to play on this board. I don't want it to be loose, because if it is loose, it will come up after it's painted. We don't want it loose at all because it's just that the quicker this comes up now, the quicker it's dealt with. As opposed to finding out later, oh man, I should have really brushed the shit out of that, or blew it out with a hose, if that's the way to do it. But yeah, I think it was a documentary, not in that magazine, but a documentary. They were talking about how many days it took to blow out the Millennium Falcon, which was I want to say 13 feet. It was 13 to 20 feet. I don't remember. It's somewhere, one of those numbers. One of those sounds right. It was fuck huge though. The scale model that they used. And then they had a smaller one, which is what the, I want to say it's a 1/350 scale. Maybe. Or maybe it's 1/72. I don't remember. It's big, but that's what the perfect grade. I was like, I gotta look at the box. What is that called? Perfect grade. The perfect grade Falcon. Which is on the list, but again, it's like, that's probably an old, when I'm old. And I'll stories for myself to tell. Or if people are like, oh, we want to watch a video of you doing all that, someone else will fucking do the work of filming it and I'll do the work of making it, then I would do something like that. But yeah, definitely need to brush this out because we're going to shake this. Upside down, though. Whoa. Yo, Offbeat Builds. How are you? How are you doing, Captain? Good to see you, laddie. Arr. I'm doing all right. Captain. That's actually my son Theodore's first name. We forget that every time until we take him to the vet. We're like, Captain Theodore? And we're like, oh my goodness, thank you for your service. I forgot you were a captain. And he says, yep. And that's for those of you who have seen the giant scab cat boat that I made. I would show it to you, but it's at Hard Knocks right now. I need to find that video and fucking just upload that. That's something I talked about doing years ago at this point, I think. But I do think it's on my computer. I just, again, digital shit's just so hard for me to fuck with these days. But I was thinking about that. But yeah, that was back when he was a captain on the SS. I want to say murder boat. I don't murder cruiser. It was something ridiculous. Just a giant boat shaped like a cat, or submarine shaped like a cat that eats other boats. Very much based on the Flying Dutchman. And that was the first thing I made impulsively for a game with Surprise You Found Me Brian and Super Claymation Clay. The first meeting of the Carstic fam, which is very fun. Fun to think about. What is it? Hard Knocks. I like that. Oh yeah, apologies. I call everyone captain. I forget the military term, honestly. Oh no, you're good. What's happening, captain? No apologies necessary. I can be the captain. Look at me, I'm the captain now. Theodore's laying down there. He says, you think you have what it takes to be a captain? Arg. Maybe you do. I don't know. I was court-martialed for disorderly conduct and war crimes. Wow. Not a good captain. He was not a good captain. Based on those facts. And that's when Margot comes in and says, well, good and bad, these are just words. Ideas. That men come up with. To make them feel less scared. In the dark. At night. Anywho. Classic Margot, everybody. Yeah, I think we're doing good. Man, the amount of shit that I've just like picked off here. I'm like, I feel like I haven't got anything done. It's like, well, I've been getting all this little stuff out here that has to get out. And brushing it out. So I'm British. We start 30% of our sentences with an apology. Oh man. Was I supposed to be born British? All I ever do is fucking say sorry. It's just, yeah. I don't know. Is that like a... Man, I don't want to be... I'm trying to think of the best way to say what I'm going to say. I know everybody likes to drink at a certain time, and I'm down with that. That's cool. Like, I'm all for that, actually. I think that's one of the things that I noticed immediately different about where I live when I went to London. And London was the whole place stops working at like 6, and everyone goes to the bar. And there's a lot less need for guns. I'll just say that as a very not proud American who owns lots of guns. I think if everybody just stopped working at 6 and went to the bar, we'd probably need less guns. I'm just saying. As it just in whole. Anywho, but captain. But yeah, sorry. No, I don't know. I feel like here, if anyone else is gonna apologize with me, I'm like, oh, cool, you're neurodivergent too, or have anxiety typically. But that's fun to think about. That's just being British. It's fun to think that you could have a cultural, like, oh yeah, we just apologize a lot culturally, and then Oh no, I just apologize a lot because I have anxiety. I find that funny. Just from a, I wonder which one's which. Like same thing with the moment that you start looking. When I say like astrology, I'm a basic bitch sometimes, and I find certain things very interesting. But and when I say astrology, I don't mean horoscopes. Like you're gonna find $1 today. No, what the fuck are you talking about? But just the concept of like, I mean, it's all very mathematical. Aleister Crowley was pretty dope. But yeah, the idea of what an Aquarius is supposed to be like is horrifyingly accurate for what I am like. And the idea that because of when I was in the womb as this ball went around another giant ball in the sky, my brain formed the way it did, or that it formed to match it. Like, it's crazy either way. It's like, oh, there's so many different things that are like, could be this, could be that. I find all that very interesting. But the idea that, yeah, we apologize a lot. Being British thing, yeah, Americans don't apologize enough. That's definitely a thing. Offbeat builds, I'm not sure if you were here for the time when I talked about the most I've ever felt at kin with like humans was when I was in London with my wife and we were sitting in a bar in what I now realize might have been a kind of dangerous part of London. And again, it's just like it's wild. It's wild, like the people that I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm pretty aware of environments and like, oh, that's not too scary. But just like, I didn't feel unsafe at all. Anytime we went in Aquarius, I didn't know you were an emotionless robot. I am an Aquarius, yeah. I'm everyone's favorite little Aquarius kitty. Wink. But yeah, no, I was born in February. I'm a February baby. I think, it's funny, I think 4 days older than Clay, and I think 2 days older than my brother-in-law. But yeah, and 2 days, past being a Valentine's baby. I was, I think, supposed to be born on Valentine's Day. And I said, nah, fuck that. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think I was early. I knew you guys needed me sooner. I said, I'm coming out. I don't remember. Who's to say? I could have been born, raised by wolves. Clowns. Raised by a family of wolf clowns. Up in them there hills. Eli the Bum, we called him. I'm this one. Is that a... Is that a Libra? The sketchiest parts of London are where most of the music venues are, for the most part. I've never had an issue, to be honest, despite being out and about at all hours coming back from shows. That's what I was thinking. So, am I right to assume that if I got off of the underground and they were blatantly, like the moment that I step off, they're just smoking weed and I can buy weed from anyone that I see, I'm assuming that's not a good part of town? Or is that just like, ding, ding, ding? Okay, so like, yeah, and I felt safe the whole time. Like, people thought I looked dope. And I was like, thank you. Which is fun. That's fun. Now, British seaside towns, they're the wish. Oh, I can't stress enough. Like, boy, as someone who is, that's what I assumed. that is exactly what I assumed. As someone that is like, since birth, had to be painfully aware of their surroundings for my own safety, that like I now just like constantly, I just am I'm hyper detail focused in all aspects of my life. I can pick up on when an environment's not safe or when someone's sketchy or that kind of a thing. And the cities don't. I guess it's also because I'm used to interacting with people, so it's just like I can read people pretty well. I can read the environment, and the more people in the area, the more I do typically feel safe in the lack of individualism, if that makes sense. And I know that I am exponentially more afraid to go to some of the towns that some people don't fucking even know exist that I've been to, than I am to go to New York City. Like hanging out, I had a great time in Brooklyn. I didn't feel unsafe in Brooklyn ever. Same thing about like the bad parts of town in Louisville that I used to hang out. I never felt unsafe. I have never felt safe in the middle of the fucking country, or the closer we get to the mountains, it's just like, I'm gonna get fucking eaten or like lynched. It's just like, it's just a different vibe. And I absolutely like seaside towns. I can 100% get that. I can 100% like some very like Innsmouth shit, or Innsmouth. Sorry, I didn't mean to ambiance it. Some Innsmouth. Ambiance. But yeah, there was that. I'm trying to think of what else I've been thinking about a lot lately. I've got to fix the saboteur's ears. I don't know if I showed that. Did I show her ears? They exploded. And it sucks because I absolutely said that was going to fucking happen. I called it while we were making her. I said, I made these out of plastic, like out of styrene, and I'm sure I'm going to regret it. And the moment that I went to go get her out at Hard Knocks, she fell and landed, and her ears literally exploded. So it's just that. I've been thinking a third of my Doom Warriors now are kind of fucked up because of the ear. Yeah, sad day. Ears just absolutely exploded and went all over the floor. So I've got to fix her. But my thinking is that's kind of okay, because I don't think a bunny really actually fitted the character. The saboteur should have been a kitty as well. So, and that kind of got me to thinking about, I might make more of my Femboy Death Cult for 1490 Doom, because there's a lot of other classes, and I only made 3. So for my Doom company anyway. We never did a campaign, which is something that we probably should do between Sam, Kelly, and I. That's another thing that's just like, there's so much stuff that like I could do this or I could do that, and it's just like, yeah, it's content, but I have so many things I want to work on. Too many things. That's the problem. But yeah, here we are. I think I've dusted this thing out. I didn't do the other side, did I? I feel like I didn't. I feel like my brain is just running very slow today. But at the same time, this is also, I'm yapping. And I've had to glue things. I've gotten stuff done. It hasn't been a total bust. That, I do really like the way that looks, though. British seaside towns, they're really, you know. On a funny note, we watched Hot Fuzz last night, which is one of my favorite movies. So like Kelly's like probably go to like anytime if you put a movie on, she's happy with it. It's Shaun of the Dead. I really love Hot Fuzz the most for the Cornetto trilogy. But as soon as she said that, just like, everybody out here is toting guns. Like who? Farmers. Everybody and their mom out here is toting guns. Like who? Farmers. And who else? Farmers' moms. That one. Yeah, that one. So that's what else for that one. What does he mean by that one? A good Walter Frey. I love a good Walter Frey. I love a bad Walter Frey. It's like when you make a cake, you gotta. Did you ever see Space, the TV show that they made before they were kind of? I don't think I did. I've not seen that. One, I can't stress enough. So I love British humor, British TV, and the one I think my favorite is absolutely the one that I've never successfully gotten anyone to watch because of the name, because of it makes sense once you know what the show is, but it's just like everyone here, there is a very strong disconnect between like what the name's supposed to be, and I guess it's a little punny, versus the fact that it's a first-person show, but Peep Show. Every person that I have said, have you ever watched Peep Show? They will either say, oh no, I wouldn't watch something like that, and I'm like, all right, well, sure you wouldn't, but that is probably my favorite British TV show, is Peep Show. There are so many parts of that just I loved so much, but the dog episode is my absolute favorite. And I feel like that just kind of explains who and what I am as a creature. That is my favorite episode. Hey, Mummy. It's turkey. It's just really undercooked, hairy turkey. But no, I haven't watched Spaced. I watched the one that they did that was on Prime, and it did not get a second season. We were bummed about that. Truth Seekers, I think. But then we saw that what's his name's apparently like, I don't know, man. I really don't like J.K. Rowling, so like, I was really bummed that like Nick Frost was fucking with her, or anything that she does. Yeah, that corner is just all kinds of. Everybody exists along the spectrum between Mark and Jeremy. That's terrifying. I love that. That's so good. I think one of my absolute all-time favorite characters. Yeah, probably. Oh, okay, hold on. Here we go. Yeah, probably the biggest disconnect between the quality of the show and the off-puttingness of the name. Yes. It absolutely is Peep Show. But yeah, fuck me if that really is not okay. Space is very much the spiritual successor, and yeah, the Nick Frost thing was upsetting to say the least. Yeah, same. It's just like I don't know. It's definitely one of those things. Just like here, like on our side of the pond, it's just like I've gotten very used to, people not thinking about others the way that they should. So it sucks whenever like someone who's like work you really like will side with people that don't think that you're a human. That sucks. It's not a fun thing to know. Especially if you've given that person like money or things. Or time, more than anything. Time and like appreciation of their art. It definitely, I can understand entirely that. And not to say that there's differences, I think, in certain actions. And I'm not condoning others and not condoning some. I'm saying it's all very situational. But I think the things that we say and do definitely, matter. Yeah. Hey, Bugbear. I know you don't know how to tell time, but I think we're gonna have to predecessor. Gotcha. Spiritual predecessor. Hell yeah. I'm gonna take this Bugbear upstairs, I think, and shut the door. I think we're hitting that point. He just likes to get up and tell me it's time to stop doing, and it's time to give him attention. And at one point in time, I let that kind of slide because I was like, I do want to give that little fluffy boy attention, but I'm starting to get to the point that I'm like, bud, if you want Dad to be able to stay home, you gotta let him work. And he says, no, I don't like that idea. And that's where the problem comes in. It's almost like it's not a good idea to raise things that don't understand the word no. Well, I don't need to have kids. Human. Or ones that look like it anyway. Ones that I've done. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to go take this boy upstairs. Be right back. Good boy. Where you at? Where you at, boy? Hey. Hey, sad one. How is my sad, sad boy, the saddest boy in the whole world? How is he? Yeah? Oh, my goodness. Well, come on. Come on. Okay, well, boy. A boop, a boop, a boop. He's just a rowdy boy. And he's rotten and lovely. Snuggle him up. It's Tommy. Sorry about that, everybody. Apparently, I also had to pee. Boop, 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 ba-dow. Okay. Getting all the little hairs. I wonder how many I put in with that brush. There we go. Nope, nope, nope. Get up there. Okay. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Just trying to make sure there are not any small hairs, any things that look very blatantly like hot glue strands or whatnot. They need to be picked up, cleaned up a little bit. Trying to look at these edges to make sure I know what corners need more layering, texturing. That way, we pretty much are going to paint up until that line. Pretty much the first floor. We want to get that painted. We're going to start moving up. When I say painted, the interior parts, the darker parts that we're not going to be able to reach once we start building up. And this is definitely, I'm going to have to start doing probably a paste. Can you see that? I think you guys probably can. Because these are 3D printed. The old tiles that I have, and they were not done by any means with the intent of heavy detail. They definitely have noticeable scoring, like lines. You can hear that it's like a ribbed almost, and you can see there that there's those typical low quality 3D print kind of lines on the walls at least. So I'm gonna definitely take some baking powder, fill in those. There's a little paste. I need to see where else we really need detail locked in. But I'm not really that upset with anything. This is pretty good. We need to fill in those cracks for sure. And I don't know if I want to do hot glue or if I just want to. We're probably going to use the grossest glue in the world because it's stinky. All right, let's do it. Where the hell did that other thing go? Where's my dirt? Oh, I remember. I moved all this stuff over here. Like it was on its own little work pad. Okay. I have Theodore hair in my nose. Oh my gosh. Get out. Stop. I feel like I'm going crazy. All right, all right, all right. It's Friday. Oh, huh. Mouse is over here. I was like, why is the mouse moving? Let's zoom on out there. Let's put that back up here. I'll put this back up here. Yep. There we go. And we'll go ahead and turn that. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty, so I need to get it in that crack. So we got a couple of options here. I can turn it sideways, which is probably the most logical choice. Yep, that's definitely the best choice, I think. Fuck, or is it? Because now I can't see. I think like this. But we need to fill that in. And we might honestly just do that with a piece of wood right here. Perhaps. Is that glued? I think it is. I can probably stick that in there. Or, fuck it, we could just do hot glue because that's probably the quickest, the easiest, and it's going to do the same thing. And then I can just smooth it shut. That is absolutely what we need to do. And I can dick around and waste time doing other things, but that's actually a really good application of the hot glue. It's just filling a hole. In this situation, because again, I know I'm going to be covering it in other layers of other glues and adhesives. So it's literally not going to do what I don't want it to, but only do what I want it to. Yeah. Yeah, we filled that in there. Not here though. Get filled. Get filled up with our glue. That's some gross looking glue on the gun. Let's get that off there. That is some old gross hot glue. We're going to go ahead and take this little guy and smooth that down. There we go. Grab these strands. Again, trying to keep as much of that off here as possible. And then once this glue dries, it'll be easier to grab those without it stringing. But that very quickly, and it's a lot easier than just trying to glue stuff in there. It's like, yep, just use the glue, fill it. Same thing, you can do that with dirt. But again, then it's just like glue and dirt, and it's just like, I'd rather just use the hot glue, get it to fill the hole, and then I can go over it with this glue or with a different glue, and then we'll cake it with some super glue. It's, again, we're baking cakes. And since I've already got to cake it and glue to fill the gaps, I might as well fill the ones with the quickest material that I've got. And then same thing over here. Are these glued? Yep. Here we are going for trying to figure out how to angle it so you guys can see. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we're going right in there. We're going to fill that up. Yeah, and pretty much a big thing to specify. I'm not just like glopping. I'm shoving the nozzle as close into that hole as I can. So only a certain amount of super glue, or not super glue, but hot glue is going to come out of here just to fill in that crevice. Kind of show it a little bit closer. We'll do it to this one right here. So essentially, I am, and you know, fuck, let's say the bigger hole. Do it the bigger hole. We're shoving that in there, filling this up. essentially. Trying to level it. That's a waste of glue, but you get the idea now. And I say that because we were trying to get level. That's the thing we're going for. It's not so much gluing it shut as filling. And yeah, that's filled now. We can definitely check because now light will not shine through. On the other side back there. No light now. And light definitely would be shining through if there was a hole. But instead, you can kind of see where it's filled with that hot glue. So yeah, so we got that one filled. I've got another one up there that I'm probably going to fill. And I might have caked it in there a little too much. Yep, there we go. Don't want to jam your glue gun. But that's a good way to do it. Again, we're just going to smooth this glue. Come along that wall. Honestly, I'm probably going to remove those pipes until I can get this nice and figured out. Especially because this is... There we go. And doing that was just to try and cool it off before I use my fingers first. Because that's how I get lots of hot glue gun burns. Okay, honestly, we might be better off, the ones that are hanging down and connecting like that, doing those afterwards. That way we can get these walls. And that makes sense now that I'm saying it. Same thing here. That way I don't have to fight to get the walls because I'm going to be able to reach those pipes. And that's a couple seconds fix, and there's no way I'd be able to get it back. Just need to do it like that. For Abaddon, fuck the Emperor, Blasphemy 2015. Welcome, welcome, good to see you. And I agree. Black and gold. Hell yeah. Black and gold always on me in life and long war. Alrighty, I think, yeah. Welcome, how are you, Blasphemy? Good to have you, good to have you. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the amount of texture in here. Definitely am going to have to touch up these with more details and add probably more piping. But again, we are mainly working up to here. So that's fine. I'm worried about the stuff on that first floor. And the biggest thing is going to be, again, hiding that texture from that lower quality print. Let's see if we can. I'm gonna have to raise it up just a smidgen. There we go. Let's see if I can get it to where you'll be able to see what I'm talking about in the light. Yeah, there we go. You can tell. The walls down there, there is a gradient where it is not smooth. That's where the camera's like kind of like trying to focus but distorting. Just because you can hear it's and that's, yeah, very, 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 very thin layers. Not very thin, not thin enough that we can see them with the human eye. It's just kind of hard digitally, and I just slung some hot glue there. But yeah, so I've got those filled in. Definitely going to need to fill in this one over here too. Probably have to clear this out. Or maybe just need to push further. That's probably where we're at. Yeah. I'm so glad I did not take that lid off. Holy fuck. Oh my god, my heart just stopped. Oh, the smelliest glue in the world just spilled all over my floor. I would literally die. It's like, well, it's time to move. My house is stinky forever. That's just what it is. The stinky glue. I'll never get it out. Oh, but thankfully that's not what happened. We were close though. Very close. Ooh, I bet that glue's hot. It is. Could be hotter though. All right. I got dead skin, baby. Can't feel a fucking thing. Yeah, okay, big difference after clearing that out. Definitely it was just super blocked up. Probably from me trying to force it to spray glue into little holes. That'll happen. It'll do that. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with that though. I think we have filled up all those crevices on the first floor, at least that side. I know we've got some over here we're gonna have to deal with. Oof, that didn't feel good. All right. That is done. Where else do we need to fill over here? Under there. Dark Isles. This train is so sick. Been enjoying seeing on Instagram. Oh, thanks. Thank you, Dark Isles, for joining us. It's been so long. I haven't seen you in forever. I was getting ready to hop off here, but oh my goodness, I'm so glad that you're here. How have you been, my friend? And thank you. I'm really excited about it. It's my GW train blowout show out. I'm just putting all of it in there. Getting all my GW train out of my inventory. It's all going in here. That way everything from here on out will be very not. There will be zero. Oh, hey, is that from this? Like, I just don't want that to reflect in my next plans for like next works. Mainly personal stuff. But thank you. I'm very, very, very happy with it. I've been wanting to do something like this for years, but I just always end up getting distracted, derailed by other things. So it's been great to force myself to do it. And it's going quicker than I thought. It's been very fun. That's, I guess, the big thing is I wanted to make some fun terrain for me and my crew. And I'm really happy to say that I think that I have succeeded in my goal of having fun. Our Minister of Slapaganda has returned. See. Yes. Someone reached out to me yesterday about the shirts on our fourth wall, and I like that. I was like, are these legit? Like I like that some of them look so crazy that you're like, is this a real thing? And it's like, oh yeah. And they were like, yeah, I really like the Godling one. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't crazy, like not real. I was like, oh yeah, no, that's just that's Margot explaining where my handle comes from. Wink. But yeah, it's been so long. Staying busy, doing the busy things. Oh my goodness. All right, my sweets, I think I don't want to leave, especially now that everyone's showing up. Do I need to like adjust the time? What time, are we happy with the time? Do I need to adjust the time? What time do people want? If you're watching this and you're like, hey, I want a different time, tell me in the comments or in the chat. Or message me on something else and be like, change the time, I miss you. That's what I need. Change the time, I miss you. Not like the time that I stream, but just the time. Because I can't do that. I just choose not to. Time Lord. I want the time of my life. The time of our life. Ooh. Oh, fuck. Yeah, okay. And then you look in the hole and you're like, who's on the other side? Oh, fuck. There's just so many fucking bolters that just cut you to shit. And that's on like a good day. Bad day, there's a dreadnought on the other side. And you're like, who's on the other side? And then you just get splattered all over the fucking floor. And after that happens so many times, the floor ends up looking like this. Got to get the blood mop. No reason to own a blood mop if you got to get it out every 5 minutes. But no, I'm really excited about the train. I think I'm gonna I'm gonna stop here. I'm pretty wild, getting unhinged, but I'm excited. I have a good sense of direction of what I need to do next. I really am still kind of stuck on if I want to go a full 2x2 or if I want to leave it at 2x1s. But this is kind of leaning out the side. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. My tummy is hungry. I need to feed it. Feet hurt. And I need to quit fucking with this. There's like really no reason to keep scratching it, but it's just like I need to. Anywho, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna quit here. That door, I'm happy with that door. It's the Yappa clock, as you can tell. But yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna get that thing right and proper. It needs to just be tall enough that a dreadnought can walk through it comfortably, because that's just something that lives in my head rent free. Is just dreadnoughts fucking walking through doors once they open up and ripping people's shit. That's the time of our lives. So that is where it needs to really be, up here. That's where the door needs to meet. All right. Yeah, I'm yapping. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I'm sleepy. I'm all the things. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, keeping me company. Your time is the most important thing that you have, so I'm gonna keep saying it. I try to say it every time. Sometimes I forget. I don't think I do. I don't know if I've ever forgotten. I'm tired. My brain doesn't work right. Thank you guys so much for your time. It's the only thing that I know of that's utterly finite that we have. So the fact that you want to spend any of it all with me truly means the world to me. Smooch, thank you for the stream. Thank you, Possum. Thank you, everybody. There was a full house today. Possum, Dark Isles, Blasphemy, Offbeat Builds. Let's see, who else was in here? I know General Kotex, Mowgli. Great to see you all. Thank you guys so much. I think that's everybody that popped in. I think that's everybody. General Kotex, Offbeat Builds. Possum. Kotex. I think that's it. Yeah, and then Blasphemy 2015, Dark Isles. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Sit pretty. Always be proud of who you are. Yeah, and I will see you guys later. I'm going to try to get some of this stuff done this weekend. We'll see. Take care, my sweets. Bye, friends.